Hi, everyone. My name is Michael Kortz, and I'm here with Vyotech Nutritionals. I have been scientifically advising Vyotech for about 4 years, where I've helped develop several of their product formulations, including Before You Train, Before You Game, 17HD, and Veroloid. I come to this industry with about 15 years of experience, but my consumption of dietary supplements dates further back than that, into my teenage years. So I've been consuming supplements for about 25 plus years. Additionally, I went to school to actually obtain my Master's of Science degree in exercise and dietary supplement science at the University of Central Florida. So I'm here today to talk about the Vyotech product line and how it can benefit you in your workouts and daily activities. I'm here today with Vyotech Nutritionals to talk about Before You Train, this powerhouse of a pre-workout. And one of the reasons why I like this pre-workout so much is it's really got the clinically dosed, efficacious ingredients that really help you power through your workouts, or really anything in life if you so choose. So what I'm going to do today is kind of get a little bit into the science and the benefits of how this is going to help you with your life, whether it's day to day or if it's an active lifestyle. So first thing I want to really hit on is the citrulline malate. Citrulline malate right now is at 6 grams, which is the clinical dose to support nitrous oxide production. And why nitric oxide production is very important is because it increases the blood flow in the body, and it actually gives you what they call the pumps, right? Everybody knows Arnold always say that we got to chase that pump. So citrulline is going to provide that pump, but what really is beneficial is because of that increased blood flow that you're getting throughout your body, it's actively delivering more nutrients such as oxygens, vitamins, carbohydrates, proteins that allow your body to, basically perform at a very high level. So this is a very important and staple ingredient in any pre-workout. So always look for at least 6 grams of citrulline in your pre-workout, which Before You Train is going to provide to you. So the next ingredient I want to hit on is going to be creatine hydrochloride. Creatine monohydrate, I'm pretty sure everybody is familiar with. It should be in everybody's supplement regimen, whether you are a 16-year-old high school athlete or an 85-year-old geriatric, towards the end of life. So basically by that, I mean, it really helps with muscular recovery, energy production through ATP production, which ATP is your energy source in your body. And it helps with prevention of cognitive decline. But as it relates to this particular product, it is really good just for ATP production, right? To make sure that you can power through those workouts and recover well. Next ingredient I want to talk about is beta-alanine. Beta-alanine, I think a lot of people are familiar with if they've taken it before, because it kind of gives you a tingly feeling on your skin, right? So it kind of makes you feel like your skin's crawling, but that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. But what it really does for the body is it actually produces carnosine. And carnosine is very well known to help buffer pH in your body. Really what it does is it buffers hydrogen ions. And as hydrogen ions start to accumulate in your muscles, it's what leads to fatigue, right? So when your muscles get tired, you can't perform as well and you can't lift as long or you can't run as long because your muscles are starting to get tired. By taking beta-alanine at 3.2 grams, which is the clinical dose, it allows your body to start buffering those hydrogen ions and stabilize the muscle pH. Now, everybody wants to train longer and harder, right? So beta-alanine needs to be in just about every pre-workout that you take, including what you're going to get out of before you train. So the next ingredient I'd like to discuss is betaine. Betaine, in my opinion, is a very underrated ingredient. Betaine almost functions similar to creatine from a power, strength, and endurance aspect. So it has been clinically proven to support power, strength, and endurance in athletes at a dose of 2.5 grams. Now, what is additionally beneficial with betaine that creatine monohydrate doesn't bring to the table is it's an osmolalite. And osmolalite means that it helps protect the cell from stress and heat and dehydration. So basically what it does is it helps hydrate your muscles, hydrates your body. And as you know, as you work out, whether you're running, whether you're lifting weights, it really is going to dehydrate you at some point. So having something in there to help prevent that, while not only preventing dehydration, helping support hydration, it's getting the power, strength, and endurance that everybody really needs as they continue to grow and adapt to training. So that's one of the more important and underrated ingredients that I'd be looking for at the clinical dose of 2.5 grams. Okay, the next ingredient I want to talk about is glycer pump, which is a glycerol monostearate. A lot of people might not be familiar with the glycerol monostearate or glycerol powder, but what it is really well known for is, again, from its hydration properties. So what it's going to do is it's going to take water and it's going to shuttle it into your muscles, right? So it's going to, again, it's going to continue to keep your muscles very well hydrated as you continue to train. And an additional benefit on top of that is because of the way that that water is being shuttled into your muscles, it's going to give you an additional pump. So it's almost like a double whammy pump, right? You're getting the pump from the citrulline of the nitrous oxide production and the vasodilation, but you're also getting the water pump by the glycerol, bringing that water into the muscles. So it's a pretty cool dual action feature. And I would look for it in my pre-workout, again, that you'll be getting in before you train. Next, I want to hit on the energy system in this product. And the energy system is basically your stimulants, right? Everybody knows that stimulants are pretty well known in the pre-workout world. So instead of just going with the normal caffeine anhydrous, what we did with this particular formula is we put two different sources of caffeine in this product. One is a caffeine citrate, and the other is the normal caffeine anhydrous. So the reason why we did this is caffeine citrate actually takes effect faster than caffeine anhydrous. So basically, you're going to get that super huge energy bump very quickly that normally takes about 45 minutes to get in effect. With caffeine anhydrous, you're probably looking at about 15 to 20 minutes. Not only does it kick in faster, it allows you to start training sooner, but then the caffeine anhydrous kind of lets you kind of coast through the rest of your workout, kind of like taking it from more of like a crash standpoint. You're trying to prevent that crash, but you'll have like a dual action type of quick peak caffeine stimulation and energy, and then it kind of rides you out through the rest of the workout and into the rest of your day as well. So that's why we selected a dual action caffeine energy system. So the next ingredient is L-tyrosine, and we actually have this at 1 gram as well. So this is a very interesting ingredient to have in pre-workout. Sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't. And the reason why I like to have tyrosine in products like pre-workouts is because it's more of a focused type of ingredient, but also helps stimulate dopamine production. And dopamine production can help with epinephrine production. And I think everybody knows what epinephrine is, right? It's adrenaline, right? So by having tyrosine in there, it allows you to continue to stay focused on your workout. And why focus is very important is it because of that mind-muscle connection, right? So when you're lifting or you're doing any type of training, you want to make sure that your mind is deliberately trying to activate certain muscles, right? So if you're doing a bench press, what do you want to activate? You want to activate your chest. So when your mind and your body are well connected, you're going to get a more efficient workout and your muscles are going to grow better. So that's what tyrosine does, is it helps you stay focused and gives you a little bit extra oomph in your workout. So the last two ingredients I want to talk about in this formula is synactive and estrogen. So synactive is it's a newer type of ingredient that has been clinically studied. And one of the big benefits behind synactive is its ability to, increase muscle recovery. And we all know that it's very important to make sure that your muscles are recovering well after workouts or they don't grow. Or if you're doing endurance training and your muscles aren't recovering in the right way, you won't be able to run as long, right? So we have a couple reasons why we have synactive in there. And one of them is because of muscle recovery. And that's where I like to focus on. Estrogen is another ingredient that I spoke about earlier that I want to talk about a little bit more in depth. This ingredient is clinically studied and has the efficacious dose as well. And what this ingredient does is it actually increases the bioavailability of the other ingredients in your formula. So for example, it really helps with amino acid absorption. Now, citrulline and betaine, they are amino acids. So by increasing the absorption of these ingredients because of estrogen, your body basically is going to utilize them a bit more, right? So instead of you really needing 3 grams, you might only need 2. So we put it in there just to make sure that you're going to have a very, very, great experience at the end of the day. So why not throw something in there that kind of doubles down on these ingredients and allows you to get the best performance that you can possibly get out of your workouts. So in my opinion, if I were you, I would take B4UTRAIN before every workout. I know I do, and I get a lot of great benefits out there. So please come by anytime.